Hi, thanks for tuning in to Everything's Jazz, where everything is about me. Duh. And today I'm gonna do a story time for y'all. The story time is called The Time My Best Friend Slept With My Man. So make sure y'all like, y'all comment, and y'all subscribe, and turn on that post notification bell to get notified every time I post. So let's get right into the story. So, back in the days, I had 4 best friends. And one of those best friends, her name is Rainbow Teeth. Okay, I don't be wanting y'all to think I just be like being mean. She was mean to me first, so that's why I'm being mean back, because she was mean to me first. She was talking about me first. So Rainbow. And so how I met Rainbow because if you scroll down to the very first video on this channel, it is called I got caught drunk at school, kicked out. If you want to watch that video, link is in the description. I was one of a couple other students who was expelled for drinking, and Rainbow was one of them. So when we went to alternative school, our classes used to be real small. It used to be like 5 people in one class. So we just gravitated towards each other, and we became real close. And then boom, she became my best friend, one of my best friends. So yes, that is how I met Rainbow. So we're gonna call him Lumpy. Okay, Lumpy. And I met Lumpy because he moved into my neighborhood, and one day I got a knock on my door, and I went outside, and it was him knocking on my door very awkwardly. Didn't even know him. He just randomly knocked on my door, and he asked like for my number. So I gave him my number, and so then I went back in the house, and then we started texting, and I think I got on the phone with him, but the phone call, it was just like awkward. It was just very awkward. So, and he talked funny to me. I am like a person who pay attention to how people talk. Like if I don't like the way you talk, then it's just like and he was like awkward talking. So yeah. And then when I first seen him around the neighborhood, like when I was seeing him around, he was not attractive to me. He was not attractive to a lot of girls, actually. He just wasn't like a very attractive boy. So it was just like, you're unattractive to me and you talk funny. So I didn't like him. We text for like maybe a day or 2, and we got on the phone like one time, and then after that I just pretty much stopped responding to him because I wasn't interested. As time went on, he started dating this girl that also lived in the neighborhood. She was also new to the neighborhood, and they started dating. A while after that, one of my other friends had asked me to put her on with him, and so I was trying to do that, but he didn't like her back. And yeah, so that was that. And then after some time after that, me and him started to start communicating again. I really don't know how. I just know we randomly started communicating again. He probably like texted me or something. I just started to respond back or something. I don't know. So then boom, we started to communicate again. We wasn't talking. We was just communicating, texting again. You know what I'm saying? I was just being nice, really. I remember this one day, so it was me, it was Rainbow, it was Lumpy, and it was this other guy. We're gonna call him Rufus. Now a little background on Rufus. Rufus had always had a crush on me since I really don't know, when I first seen him, probably like, I don't know. He just always had a crush on me, and I didn't feel the same way back. Like I didn't like him back, so I pretty much friend zoned him. So we was all outside one day. This one particular day, I was talking to Rufus a lot. Like compared to Lumpy, I was giving a lot more attention to Rufus and talking to him a lot more. Since I was talking to Rufus a lot, Rainbow and Lumpy was talking a lot. But Lumpy ended up getting mad because I was giving attention to Rufus, and then he ended up leaving. I ended up talking to, like, texting Lumpy or getting on the phone with him, and he was just telling me, oh, you was all up in Rufus' face, da 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 da. And that's how he pretty much felt. Now, mind you, I feel like Rainbow was trying to flirt with Lumpy. That day we was all outside, but Lumpy was too concerned with me and what I was doing, and he ended up leaving because he got mad about me talking to Rufus. And I didn't care about her talking to Lumpy and trying to flirt with Lumpy because, like I said, I didn't have no feelings towards him. Like, yeah, we was texting and like talking on the phone, but I didn't have no feelings for him. I wasn't claiming him or nothing like that. Time goes on, and me and Lumpy, we still talking and texting, and then I end up catching feelings for him. Now we was talking for months, so I started asking him like about us being together, like I wanted to be his girlfriend. He just pretty much did not want to commit. Like he just kept telling me like he wasn't ready for a girlfriend, he didn't want a girlfriend, or he was just saying stuff like that. But I guess I was pressuring him, because one day he ended up asking me to be his girlfriend. Like after I was talking to him about it and all that, it was kind of like he was just like okay. He was just like okay, like pretty much. And we pretty much spent the rest of the day together, and then he went home. And when he went home, he ended up either texting or calling me, and he was like, well, I'm pretty sure he called me. He ended up calling me, and he was just telling me like he take it back. Like he basically broke up with me the same day he asked me to be his girlfriend, because he said that he wasn't ready for a relationship. He didn't want to commit. He basically didn't want to commit. He didn't want to be in a relationship. Now, even though he did not want to be in a relationship, we were together every day. We spent our time either in my house, in his house, or outside, and we spent most of the time inside of my house. He was with me every day, and when we were not together, we were on the phone, falling asleep on the phone. Like we were doing everything like a couple, except just without the title, because he didn't want to commit. So then boom, another random day, it was one of my other best friends. Y'all remember the 4 girls? So we got Rainbow, and then I have the other girl in the group. Her name is Alina. So it was me, Alina, Rainbow, and Lumpy, my 2 best friends, and my dude. We basically was all outside, and we was like ducked off on some stairs because Lumpy was smoking a black. Okay, Rainbow asked him could she smoke the black with him, and he said yeah. So then it was Rainbow and Lumpy smoking the black together. Me and Alina did not smoke, so we were just sitting there chilling while them 2 was smoking the black. So we getting ready to go to the pool. Alina mama is on the way to come pick us up to take us to the pool. Me, Alina, and Rainbow are going to the pool. Now while Alina mom is on the way to come get us, Rainbow ended up saying like she couldn't come no more, and she said something about her mom, something. Now at the time I should have known she was lying, because Rainbow basically did what she wanted to do. Y'all know those stereotypes, the white kids stereotypes, like how white kids talk to their parents, the stereotypes. That is how Rainbow talked to her mom. Like you got kids that don't play with their mom, and then you got kids that play with their mom and tell their mom shut up and all this and all that, and do what they want to do basically. And that was Rainbow and her mama. So when she tried to say, oh, her mom said she couldn't come or something like that, she said about her mom, something about her mom, I should have known she was lying, because that girl do what she want to do. But at the time I was just like, okay, well, me and Alina, we just gonna go to the pool still. Like me and Alina was still just gonna go. So when Alina mama arrived, Rainbow just let me know, she was like, okay, well, I'm just gonna sit here and finish smoking this black with Lumpy, and then when I'm done, I'm gonna go home. And I was like, okay. Didn't think twice about it. That was my best friend, I trust her. Now boom, back to the group of the 4 girls. So we got Rainbow, and we got Alina, and then there's one other girl. And this girl was my like main best friend for real, because she was the one I met first. I did not trust her. I did not trust her like that, because I always had problems with her trying to talk to my boys behind my back. Anybody that I was messing with, any boy I was messing with, like this girl just wanted everybody I had all the time. Like, so I did not trust her like that. She was the only one I did not trust like that. I trusted Rainbow. So when she said I'm about to sit here and smoke and go home, I believed her. I'm like, okay, like I didn't have no reason to doubt her. Like when I tell you, Rainbow did not give me no signs that she was a snake like that. Like she didn't give me no signs. The girl was always genuine, and like no, never had that kind of problem at her. So boom, I went to the pool, me and Alina. So then boom, fast forward another day, the same night or the next night, I don't know, but just fast forward, it was me and my cousin, and we was sitting in my house, and I was on the phone with Lumpy. Me and my cousin was talking about something, and I made a joke, and I was like, yeah, Lumpy like all my friends. And then when I said that, he got mad defensive. He started getting mad. He was just like, why you saying that? Like, what the fuck? Like, he just got mad and just super defensive. And I was so confused because I'm like, well, that's a simple little statement. Why are you getting so mad over a simple little statement? Like, I was just playing. Like, I was really just saying, like, he get along with my friends. Like, he gets along with my friends. Something along those lines. That's all I said. And he got so mad. And I was just like... You do, like, he do get along with my friends. He was getting along with my friends. Like, if I bring him around my friends and stuff, everybody would get along. And that's like really what I was saying, for real. Like, he just got so mad. And yeah, that was like a red flag. And I don't know if I peeped it or not. I really cannot remember if I had a feeling or if I thought something. I really don't know. Like, I could have been thinking something. That's probably why I said that joke or whatever. I don't know. I really don't know. But all I know was it was just, I was shocked when he reacted the way he reacted. I wasn't expecting him to react like that. So then boom, fast forward to a different day. Probably the next day because my cousin was still at my house, meaning she was probably at my house for the weekend. So it's probably just the next day. Rainbow, she calls me and she's like, what you doing? And I'm like, nothing, chilling with my cousin. She like, I'm about to come down there, I need to talk to you. So I was like, what you need to talk to me about? And she was like, I'm about to come talk to you in person. And I was like, okay. So my heart beating, because I'm like nervous, because you know when somebody says something like that, they got something serious to say. And I just was like, what could this girl possibly have to tell me so important? Like, you know, and like I said, I really don't know if I already had a feeling or not. I don't remember. So boom, she came, and as soon as I opened my front door, I look at her and I see a fat ass hickey on her neck. And mind you, this girl is dark skinned with a fat ass hickey on her neck that I could see as soon as I opened the door. So somebody was sucking the life out of her neck, you know what I mean? So I come outside, I step outside, and I tell my cousin to stay in the house, and I just step outside with Rainbow. So Rainbow, she looking at me, she looked like a sad little puppy, and she just starts talking to me and she starts crying. And she's basically, this is what she said to me. So she was like, Jazz, you remember when I said I was about to stay and smoke the black with Lumpy while you and Alina went to the pool? And I was like, yeah. She was like, well, I had got too high to walk home. You got high off a black girl? Like, that right there was just like I should have just, that was a lie. Like, that was just a lie. She's like, okay, well, since I was too high to walk home, Lumpy invited me in his house. And then she said, like, she basically skipped over the living room where the couch was and went into his room. And then went into his room and skipped over the whole entire floor or the whole entire chair she could have sat in. And she got into his bed. Okay, you got into his bed. Even if you was too high to walk home, you didn't sit your ass in the living room on the couch or nothing. You went into his room. You know what the fuck, she knew what the fuck she was doing. You went into his room and you got in his bed. You ain't even, going in his room is too far, but you ain't even go in the room and lay on the floor, bitch. You got in the bed. You know what you was doing. So they got in the bed. She told me that she got in the bed and he got behind her and they're spooning. And as they're spooning, they basically like just getting sexual. Obviously, he sucked on her neck because she was standing in front of me with big ass hickeys on her neck, multiple at that. And then she basically tells me that they started doing hand work with each other. He started using his hands on her and she used her hands on him. So she's saying they did not have sex and they did not give each other oral, but they used their hands on each other and they had their mouths on each other. She's like, I'm so sorry, please forgive me. She's crying, you know what I'm saying? She's doing all of that. So I basically started crying too, because at this point my feelings is hurt. I feel played, and this girl's my best friend and she did it to me and I never expected that from her. Like, this has happened to me twice. And when that friend, the friend that I said I do not trust, when she did it to me, I pulled up at her house and I was ready to fucking fight, telling her ass to come outside. And the reason I wanted to fight her is because she did it so disrespectfully. She was not sorry. She was not remorseful. She was not no type of empathetic. She was on Snapchat talking shit about me as if I did some shit to her. She just had the whole entire wrong reaction for me, and it really angered me. And it angered me to the point where I wanted to fight. I gotta be real mad to want to fight. Like, You know what I'm saying? I gotta be mad because I'm not a fighter. I'm only a fighter if I get super mad. Rainbow, you know, she was standing in my face. She was crying. She was begging for my forgiveness. And she was just kept saying she was sorry. And, you know, she was remorseful. And also she told me. She came and told me, like, when it came to my other best friend, she did not tell me. I found out from a whole different way. That bitch ain't come tell me nothing. But at least Rainbow, she came and she called me. She called me talking about, I'm about to come talk to you. I gotta tell you something. I didn't ask her. I didn't have no suspicions, for real, like nothing. And she still, you know, made it her business to come and tell me. So, you know, I respected that. And, you know, she was sorry and shit like that. So as mad as I was, you know, I wasn't really mad. I was mad, but I was more so hurt and sad. So I didn't want to fight her. Versus my other best friend, I was more so angry and mad with her, and I wanted to fight. But with Rainbow, I was just more so sad and just hurt. And so when she told me, she was standing there telling me, saying, I'm sorry. And I just walked away from her, and I went in the house and I just closed the door. You know, I just closed the door in her face. And yeah, and then I started talking to my mama and my cousin about it, and both of them was like, oh, you should have punched her in her face, you should have did this, you should have did that. But you know, I do have like a soft little heart, so I don't like hurting people. I don't like to see people hurt. And like I said, I gotta be real mad to fight, and I was more so sad than mad. So yeah, and she was sorry and she told me. So I was like, you know what, bitch, I'm just gonna walk away. And so I went in the house and I called, I talked to my mama and my cousin, and then I ended up calling Lumpy, and then I ended up, you know, asking him about it and getting on him about it. And he was the same way. He was like, I'm sorry and please forgive me, you know, all that. I stopped talking to both of them, but both of them was still trying to, you know, talk to me and apologize. So I eventually end up breaking, and I went outside. I remember one day I was outside with Lumpy, and we was at the picnic table, and for hours we just kept talking about it. And I did end up forgiving him, but I wouldn't say it was easy because, you know, I was holding a grudge low key, and I was kind of holding it over his head, and I was just like, yeah, bitch, I forgive you, bitch, but you did this, you did that. I forced him to watch this movie called Adulterers. He came to my house and I put on that movie, and I put it on purpose to make him feel bad, and it worked. The whole time I had already seen the movie. I just acted like I didn't see it before, and yeah, I made him watch it. Teach him a lesson. I ended up forgiving what's his name? Rainbow. I ended up forgiving Rainbow too after a while. I ain't gonna lie, it took me longer to forgive Rainbow. You know how that goes. It took me longer to forgive Rainbow because I was most betrayed by her. Because girl, you my friend. Like, bros before hoes, bitch. I expect the most loyalty out of you. Like, a nigga is a nigga, fucking nigga. But you supposed to be like my sister, and this how you gonna do me, hoe? So it took me longer to forgive her, and yeah, but I ended up forgiving her and shit. And yeah. So me and Lumpy stopped talking for good because, you know, after I forgave him for, you know, doing what he did with my best friend, we kept talking, and then he ended up getting this girl best friend. Me and Lumpy, we were on the low. Like, nobody knew about me and him except my closest people, like my cousin and my friends, my best friends and shit. That's the only people who knew. Nobody else knew. And when we went to the same school, and when we would go to school, we wouldn't talk or like nothing at school. But when he got this girl best friend, he would talk to her all public in school. Me and his best friend, we had dance class together, and one day this girl walked into dance class with hickeys on her neck, and I knew it was from Lumpy. I don't really remember how. I think I low-key asked her without really asking her. Like, I think I was just like, oh girl, like, how you got those hickeys, girl? Like, what the. And I think she probably told me, or I just figured it out. I can't remember, but I knew it was from Lumpy. Like, my gut had told me anyway, because they was way too close. Like, they were like always together. Like, he would walk her to class. Like, he was just doing stuff like that. And it was just like, okay, this your best friend, bitch, but y'all way too fucking close. Y'all real close, like definitely closer than me and you, because the closer he got to her, the more distant he got from me. And so yeah, I started to get in my feels to feel some type of way, and I started to feel jealous and stuff. It was some type of event, and I believe it was a football game, and I was with one of my other friends who was driving. She would drive her mama car and stuff. When we left the football game, she dropping me off home. But I told her, before you drop me off, let's go up by Lumpy building, because you remember I said we live in the same neighborhood. So I was like, let's stop by Lumpy building real quick. And yeah, so we went up there to Lumpy parking lot. We parked and we waited, because I knew he was on the way home for some reason. I don't know how, but I knew. So we waited, and then he ended up pulling up. And when he pulled up, he hopped out the car with the girl. And I seen them like hug or like kid. I don't know. I seen them do something. And I think she went into his house and everything. Of course, I ended up texting him, calling him. We ended up arguing about that. And you know, that's how we stopped talking, because he got a best friend that he really was fucking with on the low. My cousin would always ask me like, girl, what do you even see in Lumpy? Like, he ugly. Like, that's how my cousin always felt about him. And like I said, a lot of girls did not find Lumpy attractive, and it was really because his skin was like really bad, like, you know. And I struggle with acne too, especially when I was a teenager. Like, I was like struggling with acne. But Lumpy acne was real bad. Like, his bumps would get real big, like boils. It was like it wasn't like pimples on his face. It was more like boils on his face, like, and they would get so big, and it would just kind of be like everywhere on his face and stuff. It was his personality that got me. It wasn't, I don't know, but eventually I did start to find him cute. Like, I did start to find him cute eventually, but it was really his personality that got to me. And then once his personality got to me, it was like, okay, yeah, he cute. I don't know, I just started to see him as cute eventually, like, you know. Even his best friend was a pretty girl, and you would think like, damn, how is this nigga pulling these pretty girls? And but I guess it was just really like his personality. Really, once you got past that and you really got to know him, he was like a pretty, you know, good personality to have and do. I just regret that period, because he wasn't even all that for one. And he was just like, oh, and with his skin being so bad, I guess I should have known that he probably was like a dirty nigga. Like, I guess I should have known, but I was young and I wasn't really thinking like that. So I didn't really tie his skin to maybe he's not hygienic. Because when it comes to acne, some people, like, okay, Katera could go weeks without washing her face, and she not gonna get no pimple or nothing, because, you know, that's just her skin. But me, I have oily skin, and when you have oily skin, your oils start to clog your pores. Pimples basically form because your pores are clogged. Because I have oily skin, I have to wash my face every day. I have to stay on top of my skincare routine, or my face will start to break out. And it's the same thing for him. He just probably really was not keeping his skin clean. And I should have just known, like, okay, if you're not keeping your skin clean, you're probably not keeping your pee clean enough. And so he ended up throwing off my pH balance, y'all. So it was just like, I should have just known. And this is just me being very transparent with y'all. You know me, I ain't gonna get on here and act like I'm perfect, you know, and things don't happen to me and this. Like, no, I had a guy throw off my pH balance before, and it was him. And I should have just known he's probably not hygienic enough, because why your skin looks so bad like that? And I know that sometimes for some people, cleaning your skin still probably don't do the trick, because some people just have really bad acne to the point where they have to go see a dermatologist and have to get prescribed medications to clear up their acne. Like, I know, so I have sympathy for, you know, that, because, you know, like I said, I grew up with acne and it's not fun, and, you know, I get it. But just from my experience and just talking about him alone, just speaking on him alone, I just feel like I should have known that he probably not a hygienic, clean guy like he should be, just looking at his face alone. And I'm only pointing out his skin because I know that he was the one to throw off my pH balance. So it was like, yeah, I should just, I feel like it's just a connection between the two. And if I had the mind that I have now, then I probably would have thought like that, like, you're probably not clean enough, and that's probably why you breaking out so bad like that. You know what I'm saying? Now, don't get me wrong. Somebody can have clear skin. That does not mean they are clean just because their skin is clear. Okay? That don't mean they hygienic just because they skin is clear. That just means they're not prone to acne like others. They don't have oily skin. It's usually people with oily skin that have acne. And just because somebody has acne does not mean they are dirty. I'm just saying, in his case though, that was the case. And like I said, his acne was real bad. Like, his pimples were so big to the point that they looked like boils or warts, and they used to be like all like over his face. He was just always breaking out. Like, he never had like a clear skin day. He was just always breaking out. So that was just like I should have took that as like a red flag or like a hint, basically. Yes, I totally regret that. I regret him. He was unattractive and dirty, and I should have just never talked to him, but I did, and it's cool. It's whatever. But yeah, y'all, that's my little story time on my best friend sleeping with my man. So make sure y'all like, y'all comment, and y'all subscribe, and stay tuned for all my other videos. Turn that post notification bell on to get notified every time I post. And I post other things other than story times. Y'all can tune in to my vlogs and my other stuff too. Like, thank you. Bye.